This is coming from actually sent to us by our esteemed Dr. T. Hassan Johnson, PhD motherfuckers, through his Twitter. This is it's titled "The New Report: The Capital of Suspensions, Examining the Racial Exclusion of Black Males in Sacramento County." Across the nation, black males are routinely exposed to exclusionary practices that remove them from learning environments. These practices include over-placement of special education, in-school suspension, out-of-school suspension, even expulsion. Among these forms of exclusionary discipline, suspensions have been a topic of continued interest in the past several years, with numerous reports and studies demonstrating that California is home to some of the most egregious suspension patterns in the country. As detailed in a recent report, Get Out, Black Male Suspensions in California Public Schools, Sacramento is ground zero for some of the highest total suspensions in the state. In fact, Sacramento County has the second highest total suspensions in California, falling only behind Los Angeles County. Why did I not know that? Why am I not surprised? This rate exceeds those in other urban counties such as San Bernardino, Riverside, Contra Costa, Alameda, and San Joaquin. Prior research has demonstrated that students who are regularly suspended are being tracked into prison. Prior research, listen to this, for those that don't believe in the school to prison pipeline, saying that it's a myth, even though we heard about the school to prison pipeline back in the 1980s. Prior research has demonstrated that students who are regularly suspended are being tracked into the prison industrial complex, a pattern often referred to as the school to prison pipeline. Thus, while some students are being socialized by schools for college going and entering into the workforce, others are being socialized for prison. Let that shit sink into your skull for a second. Moreover, research has also shown that those subjected to suspensions are more likely to enter the permanent underclass and to have reliance upon social services. Bearing this in mind, this brief sought to highlight key facts about suspensions in Sacramento. These facts are meant to generate conversations around issues of racial injustice, educational inequities that permeate the region's educational institutions, that fortify the economic and social health of the region. This brief details the exposure of black males to the exclusionary discipline in Sacramento County. In particular, this report highlights the suspensions of black boys and young men in Sacramento County public schools. Some of the key findings include black males are 5.4 times more likely to be suspended in Sacramento County than the statewide average. Nearly 18 black males were suspended per day in the county. Listen to that shit, per day. Sacramento County has 4 school districts in the top 20 suspension districts for black males in the state of California. Sacramento County City Unified is the most egregious suspension district for black males in the state of California. Black males in early childhood education, kindergarten through 3rd grade, are 9.9 times more likely to be suspended than their peers statewide. 1/3 of all black male foster youth are suspended here in California. Let that sink in. This is not new. This is not new. This stuff was going on when my son, who is 32 years old, started kindergarten. Before he started kindergarten, the school system has it in for black males. Well, the whole country has it in for black males. Sacramento is just not some podunk town in California, out in the middle of fucking nowhere. It's the fucking state capital. So you know, if the largest city in California and the state capital are doing this shit, it's all over the state. And black people are only 5%, less than 10% of the state. They're only 5% of the whole fucking state. How the hell are they 5 and 10 times more likely for the boys, not the girls, for the boys to be suspended than their peers? This is what makes me angry. And I'm going to use some foul words here because I'm pissed off right now. Let's reading this shit. You black bitches talk about motherfuckers abandoning you, about your color, about your weight, about you not being fucking picked by black men, about there's no black men out there for you to fucking marry and they're not doing their goddamn job. And you let this shit go on. Do you feel me? You let this shit go. You've been letting this shit go on for fucking 50 years. Where's Black Lives Matters when this shit happens? This is on a continuous basis. It hasn't been just for 50 years. It's been for a fucking 100 years. Going out all the way back to fucking 1890 when they didn't want to teach black men to read, but they wanted to teach them actually do trades because they needed the goddamn labor. They taught you to read. They didn't want to teach black boys to read. And it's still the same thing today. That trend still carries on. And you guys are just as complicit as a fucking white man. Because you see this little kid, this little boy come home every day and you look at his fucking report card and the scores that he gets and you let him get suspended and you guys do nothing. It ain't black women reporting on this. It's fucking white women reporting on this. At least they kind of give a damn, even though they have hatred for your black boys. I wonder who hates black boys more, black women or white women. I'm really starting to really not understand why. I can kind of understand white women hating black boys more or being afraid of them. I don't understand black women. You let your boys fail. You let them get into service. You know, let them be underclass. You don't teach them shit and you let them go into prison. And then when they get in prison, you don't even do anything about it. There should be more black female lawyers than any other race on the fucking planet because your men go to prison more than anybody else and you do nothing. Zero. You cry, you weep, you pray to Jesus, and you do nothing. Your church does nothing. Your church doesn't, you go to school to be a psychologist, a social worker. You spend $200,000 into debt to be what? To get a sociologist degree. Why don't you go to at least do it to be a fucking lawyer? If you're going to use your skills, at least be a lawyer to get some of your men out of prisons or stop some of these men from going to prison. Fuck the city council. Get on the school board to stop this horrendous shit from going on. Show up at fucking PTA meetings. And if you can't do that, give your goddamn sons to their fathers. Somebody that really is going to give a damn. This is all over the country. This is not just something that is happening in California or in Los Angeles or Sacramento. And then you wonder where the good men are. You know where the good men are. You know there aren't that many good men out there, or not the type that you like because you didn't raise them. You know that you didn't. You're hoping that somebody else did, or hoping that some of these kids kind of bubbled up. So that's how we change the athletes in the hoods, because those are the ones that didn't get brainwashed by the school system. Those are the ones that get the nails that didn't get beaten down because they were cast out in the first place. They never got a chance, which is probably a good thing. That's probably what half of them are saying. The other ones are not. That's probably why the other ones at least have their nuts, because they weren't castrated by the fucking school system. And I know black women, I know at least the elite black women read this shit on a daily basis and say nothing. Absolutely nothing. And you know what goes on. I heard Cynthia G and her sister on a hangout actually mention this very shit. And guess what? They could give two shits about what's going on. One was Cynthia G, who talked about it, how her brother was treated. She didn't care. And, at least her sister cared about her son. Kinda. Not enough to really do anything about it, but at least she kind of noticed that her son was kind of picked on and kind of singled out in school. But that's just the way it is. I want to take this mic and throw it across the goddamn room. I really do. Talk about black men don't do shit, black don't do nothing. And I don't hear no black women, not one, not zero, zero talk about this shit on YouTube. And half these heifers have kids. Half of them have sons. I hear nothing about this. Zero. This should be right up at the forefront of all their talking points, all their videos. This should be right. This should be numero uno with a bullet. Number one, but it's not, because they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. You go to jail, you get out. Basically, it's cheaper for them to actually get you because you'll be controlled then. They put some money on your books, you get out, and then next thing you know, they'll give you an Xbox, give you some food stamps, put you on general relief, put you in front of an Xbox, and just stay home and keep your dick hard, so I can get rid of some of this frustration when I get home. They're treating your boys and your men like fucking pets, and then get mad when they can't stand up and be men. Maybe the factory should be closed down. Sometimes I believe maybe the black community should just go ahead and phase itself out, just like the Native American population did. You guys want control of the community. You want to stand up and be counted. You want to be the most fabulous single mothers and be succeeding. This is unacceptable, and you know it. Let me get off here before I keep on ranting, because this kind of shit makes me mad. Shout out to Dr. Johnson for putting this up. I know I had to go through this with my son. It was a struggle with my son. One, to keep him in school and basically keep him away from teachers and trying to undermine him. And secondly, keeping him away from his goddamn mother and his grandmother. Hamstringing him at every step. Still hamstringing him at every step. Don't want him to really be a man. Black women sometimes have the ability to turn the best men into eunuchs. I don't think they try to. I think they've just been socialized to just do it. I really do. I think a lot of black women have been socialized to turn their boys and their men into eunuchs, or die trying. I know my mother tried, just didn't work. Trust and believe, I was supposed to be one of those porch kids. I was supposed to be one of those yard kids, and it just wasn't in me, and she knew it. I didn't become a corner boy. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe she saw that in me, and I didn't become one of them dudes. But I wasn't a yard kid, and every chance I got, I broke out. I was on a lot of punishments, a lot of restrictions, got my ass beat a lot. I guess I had too much inner street nigga in me to actually be tamed, okay? I guess, that nerd side was powerful, but also that the call of the streets is also powerful. It is what it is, but I see a lot of boys and I see a lot of men get de-emasculated by their black women. I don't know if it's to keep them safe, or that's what they think that's going to keep the boys safe, or the men safe, or what. But anyway, it is what it is. I'm not going to rant. I'm going to end this one. I just meant to read the article. I didn't really mean to rant on this. So I apologize for the ending rant. This is BGS out, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.